round of the Norway Chess 2025 tournament. It is now official. You are going to see a winner on the final day of the Norway Chess 2025 tournament after a whirlwind result that has seen the entire table become topsy-turvy. Firstly, when you look at it, World Chess Champion Gukesh was the only lone bright spot today when others like Koneru Hampi, Vaishali and Arjun Erigaisi lost in their games. But the one that mattered, Gukesh, he managed to win the game against Wei Yi. It was a wonderful match by Gukesh because he controlled the middle game. He managed to ensure that he put Wei Yi under immense pressure, and he knew that if he took Wei Yi to the Armageddon, he was going to be in serious trouble. So he put out a very, very aggressive front and managed to ensure that he got a 2-pawn advantage. Heading into the end game, Gukesh had a 2-pawn advantage. After the exchange of the queen, then you had the rook endgame. Now, the rook endgame traditionally is a bit drawish, but then Gukesh was in such a strong position with the king already on the back rank of the g file of Wei Yi. And because of that, even Wei Yi was very low on time. He just had less than a minute. And that is why in the 40th move itself, he resigned. But the unfortunate thing is, Gukesh could have been in the sole lead. Unfortunately, Fabiano Caruana, it was necessary for him to take Magnus Carlsen into the Armageddon. But then, unfortunately, what happened? Fabiano Caruana blundered, and because of that, Magnus Carlsen got a huge win. And because of that, he also got 3 points. And because of that, Magnus Carlsen now has a half-point lead heading into the final round that will happen tomorrow. Gukesh, at this point, after the end of 9 rounds, Magnus Carlsen has got 15 points. Gukesh has got 14.5 points. Hikaru Nakamura and Fabiano Caruana, when you look at it, it's 13.5 and 13 because Hikaru Nakamura defeated Arjun Erigaisi in the Armageddon. So because of that, still you've got about 4 guys who are separated by just about 2 points in that sense, heading into the final game of Norway Chess. Now, tomorrow is going to be very, very interesting because Hikaru Nakamura takes on Wei Yi. But the 2 games that will matter the most, Arjun Erigaisi versus Magnus Carlsen. And Gukesh will take on Fabiano Caruana. Now, the equation is very simple for both. Gukesh has to win. He can't go into Armageddon. He can't go into any other bit. He has to win the classical and ensure Magnus gets beaten by Arjun Erigaisi. That is the only way it is possible to ensure that Gukesh wins Norway Chess outright. Now, the problem is Magnus Carlsen, even though he may be bored by the classical chess format, he still continues to be the greatest for a reason. The way how he turned around a drawish position, he put Fabiano Caruana under immense pressure. And that is why you saw him make a big pawn blunder. And that is why he had to resign. So that is why Magnus Carlsen will take on Arjun Erigaisi. But remember, Arjun Erigaisi under pressure situations can do Gukesh a favor. So that is why it will all depend. If Magnus Carlsen wins, then he wins Norway Chess. Gukesh, in order to win, he has to ensure that Magnus Carlsen loses. Because in the Armageddon, you don't know what will happen. It could be anybody's game. Although Arjun is a beast in rapid and Armageddon style chess. So that is why it will be a big, big problem that Gukesh will have. Even Nakamura can actually ensure that he wins. If Gukesh and Caruana's game ends in a draw and Armageddon, if Caruana wins, Arjun wins the Armageddon, and Hikaru Nakamura wins against Wei Yi outright, he just about might do it, although it looks very, very difficult due to the Armageddon rules. It's only now down to Gukesh and Carlsen. Half a point, that is what separates these 2 greats from the Norway Chess title. So tomorrow, when you look at it, it is going to be very, very interesting. Fabiano Caruana taking on Gukesh. That is a must-win game for Gukesh and even for Fabi. Because Fabi also has to win in order to get a chance for Norway Chess and hope Arjun Erigaisi beats Magnus Carlsen. So it is a must-win game for 3 out of the 4 guys that is there if they want to win the Norway Chess. But it looks very hard. Remember, Fabiano Caruana in pressure situations, especially if he's not facing Magnus Carlsen, he has a great record. Arjun, can he do the Gandhivam tomorrow? If he does the Gandhivam and ensures Magnus Carlsen is lost, then Gukesh will just have to win. And he has to ensure that, yes, he doesn't slip up either in the Armageddon. Arjun has to win the Classical. And then if he takes him into Armageddon, then Gukesh has to win in Classical. There is no two ways about it. But we know Fabi in Armageddon is fabulous. So that is why it promises to be a huge round 10 tomorrow. And don't forget, it will start at 12:45 tomorrow. It's an early start tomorrow. So that is why keep your eyes peeled. Anything can happen tomorrow. Gukesh, if he wins Norway Chess, boy, oh boy, it is going to be even bigger than all the wins that is there. Because look at the field that he's gone on to beat. So I will just take some comments here. Tushar Maskara saying, what a beautiful game by Gukesh. Reminded me of his win against Wei Yi in Olympiad with 2 knights. That was also beautiful. In fact, that was the greatest end game that I have seen, apart from a player who is not Magnus Carlsen. It was a fantastic double knight end game that ensured he won against Wei Yi in that crucial Olympiad, and India defeated China after more than 2 decades. He's again saying, Tushar Maskara, how about a fairy tale finish of Arjun beating Magnus and Gukesh winning Norway Chess? Looks like a fairy tale. If it happens, it will be the greatest moment, another addition in Indian chess, because you have come out on top in a field that included 3 of the greatest players, Fabiano Caruana, Hikaru Nakamura, and Magnus Carlsen. That too, ladies and gentlemen, that too in the Apex Predators' hometown itself. That is going to be one of the greatest feats ever. Ramachandran says, if both Gukesh and Magnus draw, but if only Gukesh wins Armageddon, both will end up same points and will go down to the tiebreaker. Anshuman Swain, what are the tiebreaker rules? I think, Anshuman, if memory serves me right, I think you might have a playoff. It could be a rapid playoff in that sense. Unless you have a superior tiebreak score, according to the Sonneborn-Berger tiebreaker. If that is there, then it looks very difficult then, if both are tied. So that is why it's going to be very difficult. I will check up on the tiebreaker rules. I will do a video on that pretty soon tomorrow as well. Yagya Krishna, Arjun now has to help Gukesh as last round matchups are Magnus versus Arjun. The Gandhivam has to fire. A comment came on a popular chess streaming site that Arjun has to unleash the Gandhivam and break Karn's chariot. In this case, Arjun has to unleash the Gandhivam and ensure Magnus breaks the table. That was a very funny comment in more ways than one. Ramachandran, if both Gukesh and Magnus draw, only Gukesh wins Armageddon, both will end up with same points and will down to tiebreaker. Added, if Hikaru wins Classical, all 3 will end up with 16 points. I think you will have a rapid playoff win. That's the case. Kushagar Kumar, by the way, did you see how people call it the Magnus effect when someone blunders against him and someone does it against Gukesh? They call him lucky and fluke and whatnot. Bunch of hypocrites. I agree. See, Gukesh winning against Carlsen is luck. But Carlsen blundering, oh, that is unimaginable. Carlsen also is human. He can blunder. He did it so many times in Rapid against Pragnananda, which is why to err is human and Magnus is human at this point in time. Guki wins Norway Chess. That is his biggest win after World Chess Championship. It is right up there. Let me make one thing, but nothing beats the World Chess Championship, Yagya. Nothing beats that. So that is why Norway Chess will be right up there as to what Indian chess stature is when it comes to 1991 Reggio Emilia, when Vishwanathan Anand beat Garry Kasparov and held Anatoly Karpov to a draw, and he finished on top of both Kasparov and Karpov. 1991 was a defining year in Indian chess because Vishwanathan Anand, in the peak of Soviet dominance, won in Reggio Emilia, and that is why it will be right up there. I read it, Kumar Kushagra, I did read your comment. Gukesh, Tushar Maskara. Gukesh needs to stay ahead in time tomorrow, otherwise it's difficult. Need to push Fabi in time pressure. Yes, but Gukesh has got all to do. Remember, Fabiano Caruana is one of the best players along with Magnus Carlsen. He just has a mental block against Carlsen. Fabi against everybody else is simply a beast. And that is why anything can happen. But I will just tell you one thing. Even if Gukesh doesn't win Norway Chess, it is still a monumental tournament for him. Because he's beaten Carlsen, Nakamura, Caruana. And also Wei Yi and Arjun. He's beaten all. What more do you need? So that is why I think this tournament proves that it is really going to be an epoch-making thing for Gukesh. Kumar is saying Norway Chess started recently after Magnus became a world champion, so doesn't have rich history. Agreed, but the field is very strong, Kumar. It's very, very strong. The top 2 ELO players in the world are there. Fabiano Caruana is also there, so it's a very strong field. Ramachandran, forcing opponent to blunder is essence of this game. Also, Gukesh finding best moves from 30 to end in time scramble is worth praising against Magnus. Absolutely it is. Gukesh faces Fabi. Fabi lost 2 games straight, which is why it is even more, when you look at it, necessary to be careful. Fabi can bounce back also. So, Kushagar Kumar, Gukesh did defeat Fabi in Olympiad, if memory serves me. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But again, Olympiad is different and it is going to be very, very hard for someone else to do it. So, Krishna Yamana Yalapantula is saying Fabi is white tomorrow. Let's see how that happens. So, it is going to be very, very interesting as to how it happens. So, yes, Fabi is white, Gukesh is in black. So, I hope that it is going to be really, really important at this stage. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this wrap, for this Norway Chess. Tomorrow, big day in chess. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us. GM Kapil Dev, I guess Guki moved to number 3 in live rating after this Fabi loss. He did. 2,700 chess, if you check the live ratings, he's number 3 in the world at this point in time. I agree that the field is super strong. I mean, top 5 players are there. Yes, Kushagar Kumar, it is truly a very, very strong field. So that is why it is going to be really, really interesting as to what happens. So it is going to be very, very interesting. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this update. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.